Well, howdy, y'all. It's Frightman, and I am here to keep you spooktacular. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the 2.5-foot haunted skull from the Home Depot. Coming in at $99, it's worth all 99 of them. Let me show you why. This is what my new friend looks like out of the box. The front half of his skull is a solid piece. The back half is two pieces that are going to go together. These two pieces stack inside of the front half, so that makes the box smaller than what it would need to be if he was, if he was coming to you as a whole piece. The other thing I'm going to say is it's very well made. It's very, very thick, and it's quite heavy, actually. So the instructions say that we're going to be putting this together with zip ties. That is a first for me, so this is going to be new and exciting. Now, when I flip this guy around to start the build, I realized I forgot something important to tell you, which is he has LED eyes. So there's a battery pack over here, which you would access from the side, and then you can see the wires that are going up to the LED eyes. Usually we see very thin wiring on these props. This is the thin wiring. However, it is encased in a protective coating sleeve, just making it sturdier again. So this guy, man, he's really well made. Like any man would do, I looked at this and said, oh man, this thing's simple. I don't need no instructions. I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it, and then I realized I need instructions. And then when I got out the instructions, I realized I can't read the instructions. The print is so tiny. I had to get out my magnifying glass to actually be able to read. So if you could read the instructions on this, drop a note in the comments, because that means you have better than 20/20 vision. Congratulations to you. So the back half goes together with the zip ties that we talked about. And there's some pieces here where we're going to be zip tying. So these are going to match up to corresponding matching connections on the other piece. So it's going to basically go like this. And then we're going to run zip ties through those little connectors that I just showed you. Now, when I saw this at my local store, I examined it pretty close, and I noticed that in the back, there was a lot of separation here. Like, it's kind of like this. And, it was the back, so I was saying, that's okay if that's what it is. Nah, that's not what it is. It really is supposed to go together a little bit better. It's a little tricky. I played around with it, getting the alignment just right, but it at least looks like I'm going to be able to get the alignment right. Whether it's going to stay that way after I zip tie it or not, we're about to find out. So I was able to get the two back pieces to go together pretty well, and there's no visible gaps like there was at my local store. What I will point out here is when you're zip tying, what I did find is if you just put the zip tie on here and you just pull, it's not going to really be a nice tight fit. So what I did is I actually pushed it over to the side as I got it taut, but not quite all the way. I pushed it over to the side, and then when you pull, it ends up being straight out and nice and tight. So hopefully that makes sense, but this can go together very well without having that open seam. Our next step is going to be close to a rinse and repeat of what we just did in the back, but not quite. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in it, and then there's a big hole here. In that big hole, this is going to drop into it, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors, and we're going to use zip ties to connect these. I've been manhandling this for about 5 minutes trying to figure out the best way to get the two pieces together, and I've come to a couple of realizations. Number one, if you have somebody that can help you, get the extra set of hands, because I think that would be very helpful. Actually, 3 things. Number 2 is I've realized trying to get it just aligned perfectly, it's not a precision cut piece, so it's just not going to align perfectly, and I'm just going to have to live with that. It's not a big deal. It's going to be in the dark, so no big deal. The last piece is I was trying to figure out how to get the zip ties on tight as I worked down. That wasn't actually working out well because it kept falling apart since I don't have that extra set of hands. So what I've done instead is I have just loosely put the zip ties on here, and then I'm going to take it and stand it up this way, and then I'm going to start working with trying to get the alignment the best that I can as I get those zip ties tighter. Putting them on the top of his head definitely helped, and leaving the zip ties loose helped. So as I did that, I just realized that it's just not a precision piece. So the same gaps that I saw at my Home Depot, I also have. I was thinking, wow, this would actually be really cool to put a PVC, like epoxy a PVC tee up here and maybe elevate him like, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet off the ground. So we have those batteries in the eyes now. You can see they're pretty bright. He is a really solid piece and he is a really nice sculpt. Let's take a look underneath some spooky lighting and see what he looks like. In summary, he's a cool piece. He's a big piece, and he's going to look really good in my yard. And final thoughts, a lot of people just go and collect the animatronics and throw them in the yard. That's not the full picture, right? You have to have some static things going around. You need some other things to kind of add that spooky feeling to your yard. And so he's perfect for that. So until next time, stay spooky, my friends.